Victorum Gaming fans, we are back. Today we got some more Star Wars Armada action. So a while back we took a look at the new Rebel ship, and today we're going to take a look at the new Imperial ship that recently came out, which is basically the Onager Class Star Destroyer. And this is another cool ship, really starting to add some new flavors to the game. So taking a look at the model first, so really funky design. Just really weird, and that will be revealed here in the rules and stats for it in just a second. But yeah, really neat design. Let's turn this thing around. We got our shield generators, engines at the back, of course. There, business end of it. So this super long, basically a rail or dual rail here, and kind of like a T shape at the front. So again, really good detail, as is always the case. And then if we take this guy off the stand here, take this off, and there that goes. So really funky looking ship and some really crazy new rules. So on the shield side, we got a 5 on the front, so super strong, but then you can kind of tell it's a little bit of a glass cannon. 2s on the sides and only a 1 on the rear. It does have 10 hull though, so pretty standard what you expect from Imperial big ships. Going to the front, we have 2 red, 2 blue and a black. On the sides we got a black and 3 red, and on the back here we got 2 red and a blue, and then anti-squadrons, a blue and a black. And then we have this extra little thing here, this extra gun on the front, which we'll cover in just a second. That's 3 red, 2 blue, and 2 black, and this is the Star Destroyer version. There is a second version that you get in the kit here. So taking a look, we get our usual tokens and all that fun stuff, new type of defense token, and then our stack of cards, and then the 2 ship variants themselves. As you can see, they clock in right around ISD levels. So the Star Destroyer is the version that we have on the base right now. So you get a brace, a redirect, and this new salvo defense token, which we've covered in the other video. Speed-wise, it can get up to speed 3. Turns decent. Command 3, Squadron 2, 3 Engineering on the Star Destroyer version, or the test bed, which is a little bit cheaper. It's 3, 1, and 3. A little bit weaker on the anti-squadron, though. So the Star Destroyer clocking in at 110, test bed at 96. Test bed significantly fewer shots, of course, and a little bit lower quality. Although the special gun, which we'll get to in just a second, is all red and black there. So kind of interesting there. So first off, let's take a look at the salvo defense here right from the kit. So a ship can spend this defense token to perform a salvo attack after the resolve damage step of this attack. If the attacker was a ship, the defender performs a salvo attack against the attacking hull zone using the defender's printed rear battery armament. If the attacker was a squadron, the defender performs a salvo attack against the attacker using its printed anti-squadron armament. Then the effect of that token cannot be resolved during a counter, salvo, or ignition attack. During a salvo attack, the attack range and line of sight are treated as the same as those of the original attack, and firing arcs are ignored. Dice cannot be added to it. Other mods may still apply. During salvo attack, only the standard critical effect can be resolved, and then if the ship that spent the salvo defense token is destroyed before performing a salvo attack, it performs the salvo attack before it's removed. So really cool. You kind of get that last stab at people. All right, now the reason why we're even looking at the ship, really, it's a crazy new gun. Special battery armament. So it's got a special firing arc, which we see on the card. So some ships have a special battery armament indicated by dice icons and an additional shaded armament box not associated with the shield value, and 1 or more special firing arcs indicated by the dashed lines and shaded areas on their tokens. So again, if we go back to the ship, we can see it's got that sort of basically extra forward arc printed there. So, and continuing on with that, so a ship's special battery armament and firing arcs are used only when performing ignition attacks, which we'll get to in a second. A ship with a special battery armament has the ignition keyword. A ship's special battery armament is associated with each of its special firing arcs, and each special firing arc is associated with the hull zone it's located in. So a whole bunch of information there. So it comes with these cool new targeting tokens, and then the ignition range keyword. So at the end of a ship's activation, it has the ignition, if it has the ignition keyword. The ship may place the targeting token matching its ID token within its special firing arc and within the range specified by the ignition keyword. If a ship has multiple ignition keywords, its targeting token can be placed within any of those specified ranges. And at the beginning of a ship's attack step, if its targeting token is in play, that ship must perform an ignition attack against a ship in the special firing arc that its targeting token is within as its first attack during the activation if able. At the end of a ship's attack step or after it performs an ignition attack, remove the targeting token. So you do have, I think the way that reads, basically the potential to hit your own friendlies if you somehow got them into that arc when it does fire. While performing the ignition attack, arc, range, and line of sight are measured from the attacking ship's token as normal, with the following exceptions. Ignition attacks can be declared against ships beyond the length of the range ruler, which is considered extreme range. Firing arc is measured using the attacker's special firing arc that the targeting token is within. Instead of using the hull zone standard firing arc, attack dice are gathered from the attacker's special battery armament based on the range measured from the attacker's targeting token to any part of the defender's ship token, even another hull zone instead of the attack range. Some critical effects contain the ignition keyword as part of the header. These critical effects can only be resolved during ignition attacks. And then basically we get extreme range is any range greater than the length of the range ruler, so that's pretty neat. New icon there, basically a super weapon, so like kind of like a mini Death Star laser basically. And then so here we kind of see that in action. So to resolve it, declare the defender in defending hull zone, measuring firing arc and line of sight as normal. Gather dice based on the range from the attacker's targeting token to the defender rather than based on the attack range. And then continue resolving the attack as normal. The range from the targeting token is only used when gathering dice. So, and then Corvette A is at extreme range, but it is at medium range from the targeting token. Corvette B is at close range, and it's also at close range from the targeting token, even though the defending hull zone is not. And Corvette C is at medium range and is at close range from the targeting token, but is not in the special firing arc, so it can't be declared as the defender. So, but basically, the way this works is it's kind of like a scattering laser. So basically, anything within that arc, you're going to be able to hit and cause damage to multiple ships from one attack. So, if you can catch your opponent kind of lined up, this thing will cause all kinds of crazy damage. So. So again, a little bit of a glass cannon, but with the right Imperial upgrades and tech and stuff. I mean, if you add Mahdi here, you're going to have all that extra hull anyway. So, and keeping this thing safe, at least from a couple sides, and kind of keeping that front towards the enemy, or the business end is going to lead to some pretty interesting results, I think. So let's take a look at the upgrade cards, and we get a whole bunch of cool new ones here. So we get General Ramodi clocking in at 20 points. When a friendly ship is attacking a ship, if the attack is obstructed by a ship or obstacle, the attacker does not remove a die, even if the attack is also obstructed by a card effect, and may add 1 red die to the attack pool. So that's pretty neat. Then we get Gunnery Chief Varnillion. After you deploy, place 1 red die set to a blank face on this card. If you're the second player, set it to any face instead. While attacking a ship, you may spend 1 die from the attack pool to exchange it with the die on this card. Both dice remain set to their current faces, so you can kind of swap out for various things. That's pretty cool. Commander Beck, during your activation, you may resolve a command token as if you had spent a command. Resolve a command as if you had spent a command token. If you do, gain a raid token of the matching type. You may resolve this effect twice per activation. Very cool. Riva Demence, however you want to pronounce that last name. After you are declared as the target of an attack, if the defending hull zone has at least 1 shield remaining, you may exhaust this card to ready a defense token. Very cool. Local fire control, I think that's one of the new ones as well. After you deploy, you must replace 1 of your defense tokens with that was the volley defense token, I believe. Yeah, so you get 2 of those. All right, you get a flag bridge, so again, some new requirements here, medium large, flagship only, and modification. You gain 1 of that icon in your upgrade bar. You cannot spend a command token to resolve that icon's card effect for 0 points. Heavy Fire Zone, I think, is a newer one. While attacking a squadron before you gather dice, if the defender is not engaged with a friendly squadron, you can replace all of the blue dice in your anti-squadron armament with red dice. And they give you 2 of those as well. You get an All Fighters Follow Me. At the start of the ship phase, you may discard this token card or spend a fighter token. If you do until the end of the round, the speed of each squadron that a friendly ship activates is increased by 1 to a maximum of 5 until the end of that squadron's activation. So that's pretty cool, especially on some of the slower ships out there, or really taking faster ships and making them go even faster. All right, special modifications for this ship here. Orbital Bombardment Particle Cannons. So 5 points. Ignition, red, crit there. Each other ship at distance 1 of the defender suffers 2 damage, and each squadron at distance 1 of the defender suffers 1 damage. So, just pouring on even more damage there. Kind of crazy. Super Heavy Composite Beam Turbo Lasers, 7 points. Ignition's medium on that one. Again, red crit. The defender suffers 1 damage. This occurs once for each red or blue crit in the pool. Just craziness. And then we get the special ship titles here. Cataclysm, 5 points. After the start of the ship phase, you may spend 1 firepower token to place your targeting token within your special firing arc within the range specified by 1 of your ignition keywords. So that's pretty neat. The Raquel. So for a maneuver, while executing a 0-speed maneuver, you can resolve clicks of yaw at the speed 0 joint and are treated as having a yaw value of 1 for that maneuver. So basically being able to keep that front end pointed towards the bad guys. And we know the rebels, of course, the bad guys. The Imperials are the good guys. And then last 10 points here, the big one, Sunder. So a blue or black crit. You may discard this card to choose and discard basically any one of those tokens, or upgrade card equipped to the defender. One of those symbol upgrade cards equipped to the defender, yeah. So that is pretty powerful if you use it at the right time. But again, really one use only, but depending on the situation, that could be really cool too. So, but that is the Onager. So again, really cool new ship, and just the fact that we're getting new stuff for Armada at all after such a long absence. So, within the last 6-8 months, we've gotten Super Star Destroyer, new campaign, and a new Rebel and new Imperial ship. But and certainly cool. But I think we gotta at some point here see the Clone War stuff or some other things for the Imperial era, even extended universe. So we'll probably do another video here somewhat soonish on maybe some of the best ships that they haven't made yet that people would like to see. So, but if you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and give us a like and a subscribe if you haven't already, and then stay tuned for more Armada content. Thank you.